Okay, it looks like we are all set. Ms. Whitlack, you may begin the record whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. I'm Ann Whitlack, chairperson. This is a pre-hearing conference pursuant to MCR 9.115 F4C, being convened virtually via Zoom video conferencing before the Tri-County Hearing Panel number 13 of the Michigan Attorney Discipline Board in the matter of grievance administrator versus Vanessa G. Fluker, P number 64870. Case number 24-5-GA. The panel is comprised of Ann Whitlack, chairperson, James E. Byers, member, and Barry Goldman, member. This panel has been appointed by the Attorney Discipline Board, the adjudicative arm of the Michigan Supreme Court, for the discharge of its constitutional responsibility to supervise and discipline Michigan attorneys. Counsel for the grievance administrator is Michael K. Mazur, who will present the case for the Attorney Grievance Commission, a separate branch of the Michigan Supreme Court for the investigation and prosecution of discipline matters. We will now proceed with the pre-hearing conference. Mr. Mazur, would you like to proceed?
I'll say this very briefly. We are here at this proceeding in a stage where a formal complaint has been filed and at this time not answered, which caused my office to enter a filing of default, I believe, about 2 weeks ago. This is a very unique case, however, because Ms. Fluker has been in some contact with me and is present right now. And to some degree, something that she's better suited to speak to, I am aware of her health issues. So if it pleases the panel, I would actually ask that she be given an opportunity to speak first about her current health situation. And that might dictate which road the rest of this hearing goes down, of course, at the panel's discretion.
Any objection, fellow panel members?
Fine. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, I concur. Ms. Fluker, would you like to make a statement?
Yes, and I do have documentation to screen share if you need me to back anything up. As Mr. Mazur had indicated, we have been sharing information. We didn't know what was wrong with me until like October when they found out that I had rare blood cancer, multiple myeloma. And we found out in November that there was a very rare mutation. I'm having too much fun here. A BRAF strand, which further compromised the treatment and overall survival rate, things of that nature. At the end of November, my oncologist at that point actually did a letter, and I was working with Mr. Mazur because I was trying to, get a protocol to try to wind down cases because at that point they thought my overall survival might be 2.5 years or something like that. Well, the reason I missed the default and the answers and all those other things is because I've been hospitalized in and out. My last discharge from the hospital was on February 19th, where I was then referred over to the Carmano Special Hematology Malignancy Clinic to see if they have any trials or anything to try to address the issue. But literally, I was in the hospital and, it's just a nightmare. Hooked up to all types of medications, and I'm being sustained as far as nutritionally via IV. I don't know if you guys can see my little IV there, but that is the reason that I was not able to answer. And I had to speak with Mr. Mazur because at this stage of the game where things are going, they can't even say what the infusion combination will be for the next round coming up, how that will affect me and my functionability. And I, don't know anything about disciplinary proceedings or disability with the bar or anything of that nature. If there's like a way to come off on disability until we find out if I'm going to live the next 6 months or whatever the case may be, or until I can at least semi-function. So I do have those documents that I can screen share. I can further supplement them to Mr. Mazur as I have in the past. And he has the bone marrow results. He has the neo analysis that shows the VRF mutation thing, talking about using overall lifespan, things like that. So I can supplement the first year, whichever you prefer.
Thank you, Ms. Fluker. Do you have any other comment?
Other than I just wanted to make sure I was here today because it was not any type of dilatory type of conduct, like, hey, I'm just not responding or anything of that nature. Literally, if it had not been for sending out that email, I wouldn't have known because I haven't been, I don't like to check mail or anything of that nature. So I didn't know.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Mazur?
Yes. The purpose of our disciplinary system is not punishment. It's the protection of the public. And as human beings, we all recognize that health is a challenge that any of us might be facing and can face as soon as tomorrow. I'd like to direct the panel and Ms. Fluker to Michigan Court Rule 9.121B3. I'll say that again, 9.121B3, because I believe that could give us a resolution for this proceeding. Reading it, it says, if after a hearing, the hearing panel concludes that the attorney is incapacitated from continuing to practice law, it shall enter an order transferring him or her to inactive status for an indefinite period and until further order of the board. And another rule that correlates with 9.121B3 would be 9.121E, which explains that any attorney transferred to inactive status by this incapacity rule, physical incapacity, may come back to the practice of law upon petitioning for reinstatement and having something such as a doctor's note that they're fit to practice law, that their health is back. The other thing I would add before I'll stop talking and let the panel ask questions is MCR 9.121B4 says pending disciplinary proceedings against the attorney must be held in abeyance. So if the parties and the panel agreed that going down this route made sense, that would cease this disciplinary proceeding. This would cease any other current or future AGC grievances. It puts a pause on Ms. Fluker's ability to practice law, as well as the system to bother her, and allows her to focus fully on her health. I would move for that outcome upon review, and if there are any questions, I would move for serious consideration of MCR 9.121B3 today.
Ms. Fluker, do you have any response to Mr. Mazur's motion?
I'm in total agreement. At this point, some days I can barely lift a hand, let alone do other things. Some other times I can, do a couple hours a day or something, but it would just be really ludicrous, and I don't even can't think of the words to articulate. Just on my part, it would be a disadvantage to my clients and everybody else I would come in contact with. Because I don't know from day to day what my status is going to be, or at this point, whether I'm going to even be alive. So I don't even think that it would be fair to try to, put myself out there like, I'm competent to do this and I'm not. And I've fought for low, moderate income people all my life. I've never, had the big money cases. I never even represented the type of client. So all I kind of have is my reputation. And I definitely would not want to be continuously trying to fight against things that I know is impossible for me to win because physically, I am just not capable of doing it.
So, Ms. Fluker, to make it clear on the record, so then you would concur and consent to an order issued under Rule 9.121, dealing with being incapacitated and a stay of any pending disciplinary matters at this point?
Yes, I would.
Okay. And is it possible to get the documents back to Ms. Bundy? Are you able to do that?
I didn't quite hear the last part. It broke up for me.
Well, the basis of this complaint is that Miss Erin is it Bundy? Did I get that right?
Bundy.
Yeah, Miss Erin Bundy provided you with certain documents in which you were going to consider reviewing and possibly engaging in litigation way back in 2022. Do you still have those documents, and could you get those back to her?
I am working on that as we speak. Like I said, unfortunately, I wasn't even able to move or practice. I saw Mr. Nazar has that letter. I've been putting a team together to go through my office and, get files together because I also be closing the office down regardless of what had happened here. Because I'm not there anymore and, obviously I'm not, doing anything active. So that is something that will be handled within the next 30 days because my whole office is being shut down. Things are being organized and separated. I haven't been to my office in months, not because I haven't tried, it's just I haven't had the capacity. So now that I've been able to kind of put a little team together to help me, I'm hopeful that that will be able to handle by the end of the month. Because like I said, where my office is, that's our goal to have the office, organized,
Sure.
moved out.
Yeah, now, and based upon the email you sent to Mr. Mazer on February 2022, I see you reference on April Alama, and she's a licensed attorney that's assisting you and taking over the practice and distributing your documents and winding things up.
Actually, she's the administrative person for
For
the
the state
state
bar.
bar.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And I do have some assisting me, but because of ever since I got really sick, not only have I been talking to Mr. Brazil, I've been reaching out to everybody. I didn't know. I'm like, yeah, like a disability army, like kind of like, what do I do here? Because my life's falling apart. And she was helpful and uh, kind of being supportive and helping to direct me in some instances.
All right.
And I appreciate that.
Great. Thank you. I have nothing further.
I just have one question, Ms. Fluker. As part of this prospective agreement, can you represent to this panel that you would make every best effort to retrieve any and all documents that Ms. Bundy supplied to you back in
Yes.
2019? Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yes, I will.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Fluker, that you'd like to add?
Nothing from me. I'm
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
Mr. Mazer?
Over the past few months, I have received some letters and medical records from Ms. Fluker. Would it please the panel if I went through them with my secretary today, redacted what needs to be redacted, and filed some of those updates with the panel by the end of today? I would be happy to do that to substantiate this record if
You're
that's...
breaking up on me a little bit. Excuse me.
Ms. Fluker, I offered to file for the panel's benefit the letters that you've sent me. Do we have you?
She appears to be frozen.
It does look like maybe this is Owen Montgomery. It does look like maybe maybe she's frozen here. We'll see if she comes back to us here in a second. Hi, Ms.
Hey.
Fluker. Looks like you're back. Okay, perfect. Mr. Mazer, I'll hand it back to you.
Sure. My question to the panel, Ms. Fluker, was, would they like me to file some of the medical letters that you've sent me? You might have your own additional records, but I'm happy to file and prepare everything that you've sent me for the panel's convenience.
It looks like maybe her internet connection unfortunately flaked out again.
Love?
There we
Hi,
go.
there you
We
are.
lost you there for a while.
Sorry. I don't know if that's my end or not. But I left off when you were speaking, Mr. Mazur, and I didn't quite hear what you said.
All right. Do you hear me right now?
Yes, I can.
All right. I offered to file with the panel the letters and medical records that you have sent my office over the past few months.
That's fine.
That would be less work on your end, if that's something.
Yes, that'd be great. And I'll supplement what I, have here today. Because it's quite a bit. I've really been trying to explain to him because it's so bizarre. I can't begin to articulate. So he has quite a few records, probably more than he would like. Some of it may have been just a little venting, and I think I even sent you a couple medical articles explaining how unique this is and how blindsided I was. So yes, please share.
If I may ask the panel, would you like us to file records? And to what extent would you like those records? Recent records or all records?
I think we'd like an opportunity to go into a breakout room for a few minutes.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. I can open up a breakout room for the panel right now.
Thanks, Owen.
All right. If everybody will just sit tight for a couple seconds, couple minutes, I'm going to join the panel as well, and we'll be back.
All right. Thank you again for being here, Ms. Fluker. I know this isn't fun.
Thank you, Mr. Michelle. I appreciate this, kind of bringing everything together here.
I sincerely believe that if we go down this road, it's the least work, the least headache, the least effort for you, and that means something to me. I don't want to throw anything more at you than I have to. So hopefully this makes things a little bit easier.
I've come to the conclusion I think it might be my line or something because I'm just kind of floating in and out of here all over the place.
Yeah. Well, we could see you right now, but it does go in and out. Do you have any questions for me right now, Ms. Fluker?
No, I don't. I guess more of a comment. The records that I have up, I'll get them over to you later on today because after I get off of here, I do have a doctor's appointment. So it wouldn't be like an immediate send over. They'd be later on this afternoon before I can get those over to you.
Okay, do what you can. And if the panel is open to this, they might be comfortable with their decision even without the most current records. But I would be happy to supplement it with whatever you send me later today. If that's what
All
they
right.
want.
Okay.
Something is happening.
Here we go. Okay, so the panel is ready to proceed. They're going to come back into the break or to the main meeting session in just a moment. Sorry, I have not had my second cup of coffee yet this morning.
That's all right.
Okay, it looks like we have everyone. Everything is still good on my end, Ms. Widlack, so you may restart the record whenever you're ready.
All right, let the record reflect. We are back on the record after the panel has conferred regarding the stipulation reached in this matter. And we'd like to place on the record that the parties have reached an agreement to stipulate to the following, that pursuant to Michigan Court Rule 9.11 B3, the panel is satisfied that the respondent, Vanessa Fluker, has demonstrated that she is incapacitated from continuing to practice law, and that we will enter an order transferring her to inactive status for an indefinite period and until further order of the board. We would like to specify, however, Ms. Fluker, how much time that you believe you reasonably need to wind up your practice so that the order rendering you into inactive status will go into effect once you have concluded winding down your practice. Do you have any idea how much time you need?
I'm thinking 45 days.
Okay, Mr.
Max.
Mazer. Mr. Mazer?
Given what Ms. Fluker is dealing with, sooner is better, but I'm not qualified to say that what she's saying is unreasonable. I believe if the panel enforces a date, that will be the date.
I just want to make sure there's enough time to let the courts. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure how this works. If once I'm in action, I'm sure I have the capacity to send anything to the court. So, cases that are active, I just want to have people that have enough time to, not be blindsided too. But suddenly I'm just inactive and I can't even come in and say, hey, I have this medical issue going on. I'm going to be gone indefinitely for a significant period of time. I just want enough time to be able to go in and say that. Need be.
All right, to make that clear, Mr. Mazer, if you have no objection, that would be 45 days that Ms. Fluker would have from the entry of a written order memorializing this hearing. Is that everybody's understanding?
Yes.
Any objections, panel members? All right, we'd further like to add, Ms. Fluker, that you agree to make every best effort to collect and return to Erin Bundy any and all documents she provided
Yes.
to you in connection with that retention.
Yes.
You. All right, thank you. All right, well, if there are no objections, we will prepare an order setting forth the parties' agreement. The panel would like to commend both petitioner and respondent for the collegiality in reaching an agreement in this matter. And if anything occurs after the closing of this hearing that would in any way alter the efficacy of the party stipulation, either party can reserve the right to reopen this hearing based on evidence that it will proffer at the time. Does anyone have anything further?
I just thank everyone for being benevolent and working with me under these circumstances, because it's been a true nightmare for me, and I just appreciate everyone's assistance. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Ms. Fluker. And we certainly, I speak for the panel and the board, that we appreciate the effort of you making an appearance today, and we wish you well.
Thank you so much.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Is it correct from the panel's finding that you do not request additional documentation later today?
That is correct. the panel has conferred and we are satisfied based on Ms. Fluker's representations and your acceptance of those representations, Mr. Mazer, that no further documentation is necessary.
Understood. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the clarification. If there's nothing further, this matter is concluded.